All right, welcome, good people. I appreciate you stopping by my podcast here. One of the things that I like to do from week to week is kind of find the places where I can get better, places where I can do things more efficiently, right? Because as an entrepreneur, you have to always try and focus on your time. Your time is very important to you. That's why once you decide to take on this journey as an entrepreneur, you can't allow people to just occupy or just waste your time anymore. Right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to call this video or this episode Time, or we'll just say Your Time. Because think about this for a second. Let's say you want to decide to do something different than what you're doing right now. And keep in mind that you're not doing that right now. So you're going to have to incorporate a slot of time in your life that you're going to begin doing that, right? Simple enough, right? This is how it works. This is how it begins. The first thing you need to do is gain knowledge about what it is that you want to do. You may say, well, I already know everything I need to do. Okay, well, that's cool. If that's the case for you, then we'll go to the next level. The next level is to create content. You don't have that, right? This is content right here. When I create an episode, this episode didn't exist before I created it. That's the beautiful thing about intellectual property, your mind. Once you take it from here and put it into a place where people can access it, then you can put a price on it. You can value it, right? It may be invaluable to you while it's in here, but it doesn't do anybody else any good while it's in your head. So when you want to package it and sell it or get a return on that information, then you have to make it accessible for other people, which is, it's not a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer, right? You understand how that works. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But the major thing you need to do is understand that after the creating of the content, you have to market that product or service. How do you do that, right? Now that's another element that's you can outsource that, or you can do it yourself. When you outsource it, you gotta pay. You know that, right? But when you're gonna do it yourself, it's just gonna take you a little bit more time. And let's say you have time. Let's say you have time but no money, right? So that's actually a good place to be initially, because what will happen is you'll become better at figuring out how you want to market your product or service to whoever you want that audience to be, right? Just like when I create these episodes, my system is already in place to market these once I create the content, right? And that's how your system will be. It will be automatic. It's a process that you go through, right? When you create anything, right, in order to get it out to other people, it has to go through a process, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 5, whatever that process is for you to get the result that you want, it has to be in place, right? And you have to be aware of all those steps that are necessary, you being the entrepreneur, all right, or the business owner, or the creator, if you will, of that content. That's what allows you to possess 100% of the wealth that comes with that, right? You, little old you can do that. It's a great feeling. It's a great thing. As you know, that I'm an author of several books, but one of the things that I do is I sell my books at different events. Now, some of those events are online and some of those are offline. One of the systems I'm putting in place right now is to create more connections offline because of what I have going forward around the first of the year. And I'll share more about that with you guys on later videos. But what I'm going to do is I'm creating a podcast that does interviews with local people in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area initially, right? Now, people fly in all the time, right? Or, you can go different places and interview people. But I want to have a podcast where people in the Metroplex area can come and, talk about current events, talk about things that are impacting their life and things that have impacted their lives, right? And basically to let you know who they are and how you can contact them, because most of these people will be entrepreneurs, right? I really like dealing with people who kind of are going someplace, because people who are kind of just like in neutral, if you will, not doing anything, those are some very smart people too. They just are not on board with anything yet, any system yet. And that's kind of spinning your wheels, because people, you have to realize that in order to become an entrepreneur, it has to be something that you want to do. It can't be something anybody else wants you to do, because of the commitment that's involved, the time that it takes for you to actually, get to a point where it makes sense to you, right? If you can't get to that point, then you're going to be starting, stopping, starting, stopping, starting, stopping. That's not how it works. You have to remain consistent over time. It may take years. No. Let me rephrase that. It will take years if you're going to do it the bootstrap way. If you're going to be bringing it up yourself, putting yourself in front of people, and making the contacts you need to make so that you can move to the next level. Yeah, that's going to take years, and you have years, but it gets better, because initially you're going to spend a lot of time by yourself, and after, let's say, 6 months to a year, just depending on your personality, you'll start to kind of connect with people in your industry or in your area of expertise that you have chosen to become an expert in, right? There are other people in that same area that belong to different groups, that go to different events, that participate in different things. And you can kind of mix with those until you kind of get a feel of what's actually going on. Then you can become part of whatever you select, right? You might not want to do this one, but you might want to do that one, right? Because the people in that meetup have a tendency to kind of resonate more with the things that you like and who you are. So, having said that, remember, this video or this podcast is about your time, about the time that you want to take or you want to set aside to begin what it is that you want to begin. And now is the time to begin it. I know you see people being laid off all around the world right now, jobs going overseas, and a whole lot of things that are kind of chaotic right now. It's very important that you kind of create a little side hustle, a little something you can do on the side to generate, $150, $200 a month extra, until you kind of get a feel of where that is. And once you do that, then you can increase that. You can go from $200 a month to maybe $500 a month, right? I know that's not going to make you rich, but it's going to make you familiar with that area that it takes to make that. You're going to know what it takes to, if you need $500, you know how many products you need to sell, right? Or how many products you need to create, because you're going to go to different events. And I'm going to share some more about that with you on the next video, because I'm actually setting that system up as an offline venture for my business right now. So I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to share that with you on the next video. So don't go nowhere. My name is Larry James. My company is Speak with Larry, and this is Speak with Larry's video podcast.